Tim, first thing we're going to talk about today is the draft. The MLB draft is on July 13th. This is, I believe, the first time, maybe second time on MVP Sports we will be ever covering the MLB draft. It's not a draft that we usually cover because there's a lot of names with it. But with the Cubs, you kind of suggested, hey, why don't we take a look at who we might be selecting? And Cubs have the 17th overall pick in the first round, pardon me. And the thing I wanted to ask you is, in your opinion, the first round pick is usually where you're taking that guy to where it's like, okay, we're probably going to see him sooner than everybody else. This is where it's like the Kyle Schwarbers, the Chris Bryants that we have seen in the past. I'm looking at a lot of mock draft, Tim, and they keep saying there's two positions that pop up. One is pitching, which across the board, reliever, starter, we don't know what these guys are going to develop into. It's just taking an arm and then hoping it gets to where you want it to be. The other position is second base. Tim, I want to ask you, if you are the Cubs drafting 17, are you laser focused on a specific position, or are you just going, no, I just want to take the best available guy that's there at 17? Like, are you targeting position or name?
Well, okay. So a lot of things that happen with that is the age of the player you're choosing is going to have a lot of factor in when they're going to be ETA ready for the MLB. Does that necessarily matter to me when it comes to potential or best player available? No. I think if we picked a center fielder in 2 weeks, I don't think it's a cause for concern. I don't think it's anything that PCA should be worried about. It's just playing our fucking hand for maybe 4 years when he comes up, you know? So no, I'm not targeting position at all. Obviously, I think there's positions you need to address as just a baseball team.
Yeah.
You need to get an infielder. You need to get a starting pitcher or two. You need to get an outfielder, then fill up the rest however you want, I think. A big thing is too, so many people are drafted as shortstops that end up first, second, or third baseman.
True.
Or sometimes in the outfield.
True.
So if you look over the positional stats of a draft in the MLB, and I didn't look over this until about a month ago, most of the infielders are shortstop. You know, you'll find a guy that says second base, but most of them start as shortstop and then find their niche somewhere else. Because that's usually the best infielder on a team.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm with you. I'm not looking at prospect, but I think the one that's like the question to me, right? And this kind of peaked and I was like, is it weird that second base is thrown out that much? Because like I look at our prospects, right? And that's really what I look at, because I'm not looking at the major league team right away.
You shouldn't.
Looking at the prospects, I mean, we have Jefferson Rojas, who is right now a tweener, just middle infielder, they're saying. And then we got your boy, a guy that you said you've liked in Triantos, who's second base outfield. Is that telling? Now, yet again, this is not the Cubs saying this, but if the Cubs go second baseman with the 17th pick, is that a sign that, like, okay, they're thinking Rojas more as a shortstop, and they're thinking Triantos, thank you, as more of an outfielder than a second baseman?
I would say because they are so low in the system, probably. But I've also, I haven't watched as much Rojas video as I have Triantos. Triantos is a hitter, first and foremost, probably 1 and 2, and then a base runner third.
Could probably be a DH if, by the time he comes up, if Seiya's not there.
From college into his first year, into the middle of this season, not many of them are fielding highlights, Ricky. So I don't think that's that's probably why he's playing second base.
Yeah.
He's a tall kid though too. I can see him playing first at some point or a corner outfield. So no, I don't think if there's a guy And that's when you should maybe look at the roster, is if you're looking at like the AA roster of like guys that you expect to come up in the next 2-3 years, maybe a year and a half or so. Are they going to actually fill a hole? And that's when you start to plan. But again, you can't plan based on your major league roster, a draft pick. Really.
So
unless you have, not at 17, at least, let's say that, not at 17.
So I'm going to say this. The only reason, me personally, if you're asking me, gun to my head, Ricky, what position are you taking? I'm going with a pitcher. Give me the best pitcher available at 17.
Probably the safest way to go.
You can fuck up a pitcher, but you can't fuck up a pitcher, because if you just take a pitcher, it's like, okay, reliever, starter, whatever you turn into, that's what you are. It's not like you're drafting just a starter, just a reliever. Hell, now we've seen it. Most relievers are just failed starters. Towards like, hey, this guy, we thought he'd be a starter, but he works really well in the pen, so we're going to drag him to the bullpen, be a reliever. The only way I would think the Cubs go at second base at 17 is looking at the contracts, Tim. Infield right now, we got Matt Shaw at third, Dansby at short, Nico at second. Now, Dansby's locked in under contract, will not be a free agent until he is 36 in the year 2030. So this is probably his last contract, wherever he, like, if we're getting rid of him, we're trading him. He's not just leaving the Cubs.
Yeah.
However, Nico Hoerner, a little bit more interesting. He will also be 30 when he becomes an unrestricted free agent, but that will be in 2027, a lot sooner than Dansby. He's going to be a free agent when he's 30 in about 2 more years. Is the only reason people are thinking, hey, Cubs are going to go second base, is because it's like, oh, Nico might not be here much longer, because he hasn't been locked down with an extension. We love Nico, but it's like, hey, if we don't get something done, he doesn't get re-signed for the future. Are the Cubs going to want to re-sign? It's a lot of things to think about 2 years before he's on the books to like come up with a deal. Are they going to have enough money? Because Kyle Tucker's going to need an extension. You've got Seiya and Happ are going to need extensions. And also, I'll throw this out here. There's a big, it's not even a rumor at this point, Tim. It's basically like Paul Heyman. It's a prediction, not a spoiler. There are many baseball minds saying that if we don't have a lockout in 2027, they'll be surprised. And the big thing holding that down is there are owners of like not the Yankees, not the high-end teams that want a salary cap. They want to go to like what the NBA has, with the luxury taxes and like things in place. So you can't just get the Dodgers. Let me just spend and get the best roster. That right there, if let's say a lockout happens and then CBA brings in a luxury tax, that's then going to change how contracts work. So could that then affect Nico Hoerner's future with the Cubs? Because we got a lot of contracts coming up. Like I said, Tucker needs an extension. Happ and Seiya are going to need extensions. Like, there's a lot to think about with just one pick. I threw a lot at you with just one pick.
No, yeah, totally. I believe we're going to have the problem of Happ, Nico, and Seiya all in the same year too. That's going to be the tough thing that we've talked about before in past episodes. And that opinion is going to keep changing week by week, and I'm happy that we do that, because we would be pretty fucking boring if we would just keep the same opinion and not change them based on what's happening in front of our eyes.
Yeah, you're right. All 3 of those are in 2027.
Yeah. That's going to be a tough year. It'll be a lot easier to swallow if we win before that. I just don't think I consider the major league roster when I'm making this pick. I think you pick BPA. Yeah. I think it's safer to go pitcher than position. But again, for me, I like that Hawaiian kid that was just in the baseball classic. Aloy, the
Okay.
shortstop. He's like 6'5" or something. He hits fucking bombs and he can field.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to go pitcher, what was his name? Gage Wood.
That's who I was going to bring up. The kid from Arkansas.
The 19 strikeout no-hitter that he threw in the Baseball World Classic?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here. I mean, if he's there, which I doubt he will be at 17.
A lot of mocks have him there to us.
Yeah, I know. And that'd be a great pick.
The main second baseman that I've seen thrown out a lot, and I'm going to fuck up his name, Galvin Keelan?
I don't know. Where is he from?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
K-I-E or K-I-L-E-N. Kylan?
Kylan, yeah.
Second baseman, that's the guy I've seen, even though Baseball Reference has him as a middle infielder with shortstop too. Played out.
You remind me of like a Brett Boone type player.
He was with Louisville. This past season was with the Tennessee Vols.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think obviously we don't know much about the draft, and none of this is going to pay off right away like it would in any other sport. So it's fun to talk about. It'll be fun to review once it happens in a couple weeks. I think it's going to be I think it's a week or 2 weeks from yesterday.
Yep. July 7th. No, not 17th. 13th is the exact date of the
right
first
before
round.
The All-Star game, right?
Yeah.
Or the Home Run Derby, maybe something like that. Whatever. That'll be fun to review. So
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
The one mock draft I'm looking at, that Aloy that you talked about, they have him at 19 to the Orioles.
Yeah.
Like you've got Tyler Brebner, UC Santa Barbara.
They have Brebner as a relief pitcher too.
Okay.
That kind of concerns me, being a relief pitcher out of college.
Relief pitcher or right-handed pitcher?
I saw RP, and then when I was looking at Gage Wood, it said RHP, which means right-handed pitcher. So I might be wrong, but I'm making that distinction there.
Yeah. From what I'm seeing about Bremner's, let's see, right here, the website I'm looking at is northsidebaseball.com for this. They have here, there's work to do on the command, but he finished strong. The ceiling is a playoff caliber starter for Bremner. So it's like maybe he's not one right now, but yet again, pitching, there's so much room to like develop as 100%. A pitcher. Like the last name I was going to throw out there is Riley Quick, right-handed pitcher out of Alabama.
Yeah.
Like, do we know who's going to go to us? No. Any final thoughts? Will we remember? I mean, let's be honest. We haven't had, let's see. I'll do a fun game for you, Tim. Fun little game. Cubs.
I like games.
First round draft history. Let's see how many of our first rounders actually like panned out. So we had.
I did this the other day. It's actually more than you think.
So last year, we don't even have our first round pick anymore. Thank you, Kyle Tucker.
Cam Smith.
Matt Shaw, who's on the major league roster. Then 2022 was Cade Horton on the roster this year. Jordan Wicks. Jordan Wicks was a first round pick for us.
Yeah. He's kind of nowhere to be seen now.
This is probably a big one. 2020, Ed Howard. Who? Who?
Remember shortstop, right?
Yep, shortstop.
Yeah.
Ryan Jensen in 2019. Nico Horner in 18.
Yep.
Brandon Little 2017. Alex Lang in 2017. We had 2 first round picks.
I think we traded him.
Ian Happ in 15. And then it was Schwarber, Bryant, and Albert Amora. Boom, boom, boom. 14, 13, and 12.
Yeah.
There is you know what? It's a lot more than I remember.
Yeah, it's more than you thought. I remember thinking the same thing when I was looking that up.
Damn. I didn't know this. Do you know who we drafted with a first pick 48th overall in 2007. I'll give you a hint. He then became, later in his career, a cover athlete for MLB The Show.
2007, you said?
Mm-hmm. We drafted him in 2007. Mm-mm. He would play for the Blue Jays and the Yankees. Those are the two names that he was, he was on the show cover in 2016 as a Blue Jay.
Batista?
Josh Donaldson.
Donaldson, yeah.
I didn't know we drafted Donaldson coming out of the draft. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know. What do you guys think down below about what should the Cubs do? Where should we go? What are some names that you guys like in the MLB Amateur Draft July 13th? Tim and I are going to be reacting to it when it happens.
There's guys coming up that you think that we should be replacing, because they're guys that are going to be taking up spots in the draft order, in terms of longer contracts that we're going to be signing. I think the biggest one coming up would be Kyle Tucker. That's the next guy that needs to be signed.
Well, Tim, as always, would like to thank the people that make these videos possible, our patrons whose names are displayed on the screen now. If you would like to become a patron, go ahead and click the Patreon icon in the bottom right. And if you'd like to check out another video from MVP Sports, hit the video in the upper left. As always, thanks for watching.